I just needed to get away from London. I thought that was what's going to fix me. But addiction doesn't understand geography, and I didn't understand my addiction at that time. I was getting ready for my flight, and me and my father had a real big argument. He just turned around to me and said, "Have you seen Banged Up Abroad?" And if anything, he predicted what had happened to me. My name's Izabel Rose, and I was arrested and detained in Osaka in Japan, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I grew up in a fairly average environment to two amazing parents, and it was very normalised in my life to kind of use substances recreationally. I went to university and I was known as kind of like the party girl. That's when I was first given ketamine, or had taken ketamine. I didn't really enjoy it the first time I did it. I ended up K-holing, which is where you basically pass out. I started living with some friends from university. My usage went from using it on nights out to on the weekdays. You know, we were just doing what any people would do. If they decided to drink, they would maybe share a bottle of wine on an evening, and I kind of compared it to that. But during all of this time, I would have described myself as a very high-functioning addict. I would use it first thing in the morning before I went to work, and then, you know, I hate this, but I would then use it at work.
So then, what made you want to go to Japan?
So I'd always wanted to go. I just needed to get away from London. I thought that was what's going to fix me. There's something about Japan, the culture, the food, the religions. I really connected with it, and I decided that I wanted to do a solo trip. I had lots of touristy things I wanted to do. One of the places I really wanted to go see was Rabbit Island in Hiroshima. I knew in my head it would be difficult, if not impossible, to try to get drugs in Japan. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm not going to be doing any ketamine, I'm not even going to be smoking any weed, like I am going to basically have my last hurrah. So I did a lot of ketamine, and I was in so much pain. So one thing that I experienced with my ketamine medical issues was K-cramps. I got them really badly. I would then sit in the bath under a hot tap for hours, sometimes days, and it would be so hot that it would leave burn marks. So the night before my flight, I was in agony in the bath, and I really thought that this was my rock bottom moment. Then the next day, I was getting ready for my flight, and me and my father had a real big argument because I think it really hit him. He saw me in pain, you know, the night before. And he just turned around to me and said, "Have you seen Banged Up Abroad?" And that really annoyed me. He was trying to open my eyes. And if anything, he predicted what had happened to me. And the whole journey, I didn't really think about ketamine much at all. I was excited. But addiction doesn't understand geography, and I didn't understand my addiction at that time. I don't think I'd even walked through customs, and I was texting a friend. I asked, "Do you know anyone in Japan that can sort me out?" And they said that they didn't, but they knew how I could get it. It's going to take 7 days. I, will give you my hotel in Osaka. That's where I'm going to be. And then, my whole life changed.
What happened next?
So I was in my hotel in Osaka. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and 9 police officers swarmed my hotel room with a court warrant to check my room, to seize my mobile phone and my laptop. They realised I didn't know what they were saying, so a translator came. I was scared, but at this time it was very much like fight or flight. I thought I could just probably talk my way out of it. You know, this was just personal use. And in the UK, if this was to happen, I knew from my knowledge, they probably would have just seized the drugs and let me go. And this is what I thought was going to happen. I think we got to the police station probably about 9 a.m. and I was there till 8 p.m. I think around the middle of the day, they officially arrested me. That was when it really hit me, you know, when they put the handcuffs on, when they did the mug shots and they did the fingerprints. They took me to a jail and a public lawyer came to see me. I was saying, you know, how long am I going to be here? A couple of days? And this lawyer was looking at me like, you are going to be here for 5 months minimum. When he said this, I stood up and I started bashing my head on the wall. I really relied on this drug at the time to keep me sane. Because I was a flight risk, their decision was to detain me. They took me to the official Osaka detention center, which is where I spent 5 months in solitary confinement.
What was that experience like?
So the first 2 months were the worst because I was experiencing, you know, mega ketamine withdrawals. It was like intense rehab is what some of my friends have called it. Cold turkey and just have to deal with it. So I was in a really, really bad way. If I could have ended my life in those 2 months, I would have. My normal routine in the week was wake up 7 o'clock. If you don't get up, they'll shout at you. And you have to fold your futon in a particular position. And then they would do morning roll call. So they came around and basically shouted bango, which means number in Japanese. And then you have to say your number. I was given the number, which is really crazy to me, for some reason, the number 100. And I don't know if that's because they thought it would be easy for me to say in Japanese, because in Japanese I was told to say shakaba, which is number 100. And I've now got it tattooed on my arm. So you do roll call, and then after roll call they bring you breakfast. And breakfast is always 2 bread rolls, so a big one and a small one, and then a sachet of either butter or jam. And then you would have free time until 12. So in this time you can read or you can write or just sit there. So a lot of the time I would be reading or journaling. And then lunchtime would come and you get all of the food in your cell. So you have like a gap in the door and a little flap opens and they give you your food. I learned how to use chopsticks really well and now I'm a pro. From 12:30 till 1, they played this special music and it took me, I think, 2 months to realise what this music meant because no one told me. And it was like this weird kind of do 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 do, and then they were singing Japanese numbers. And in that half an hour window, you can exercise in your room. So you'd have dinner, and then after dinner, they'd do evening roll call, which is the same bango shakaba, and then at 5:30 they would put on the radio again, but all the radio was in Japanese, so that was really difficult as well. And so they play the radio until 9 p.m. and you can read at this time and you can also put your futon out and lie down, and then the bell would go at 9 p.m. and lights dimmed. Lights never went out.
So while you were going through all this, all your friends and family at home, what was their reaction?
So I think my sister says that she was the one to first kind of raise the alarm bells. They had realised that they hadn't heard anything for 24 hours and they started being a bit worried. So my father called the Foreign Office and just inquired, and they said to him, "We can't tell you much, but we have a case number." And so I think he knew. Every time I got a letter, or I was able to buy snacks because my father was sending me money, I just thought how lucky I am to have my family. Some people don't have that out there. And a lot of those people in that jail or in that detention centre, they've probably just made a mistake like me.
did you end up getting back to the UK after those 5 months?
The sentencing date finally came, and the prosecutor was going in with 2.5 years he wanted me to serve. But the lawyer kept saying to me, I think you're going to get a suspended sentence. I remember being in that courtroom, looking at the judges, and they said, suspended sentence. And I broke down and I was crying with happiness and smiling. And I remember the judge looking at me dead in the eye, and he says in English, you know this is a guilty charge. And I go, yeah, but I get to go home. Like, yeah, I get emotional even thinking about it now. When they opened the doors, it was like being reborn. The light and the colour and the fresh air and just the noise of like humans and like nature. Oh, it was so surreal. If you could bottle that feeling, I would buy it all the time. Like, it was so good. And then yeah, I left, and there was a 2-week processing period from my sentencing to them deporting me, and I was really upset that I had done this to myself and in a place which I love so much, and that I'm probably not going to ever come back. So I really wanted to try and do some of my trip that I'd had planned. So I decided to stay for like a week and a half to finish some of the stuff that I did. So I did Hiroshima, and I managed to do Bunny Rabbit Island. I remember cycling around the island, listening to music, you know, because that's a big part of my life, music. And I get so emotional with how amazing it felt. You know, there were elements that were a real struggle, but I honestly think that it was where I was supposed to be. Everything happened for a reason. I think it was the best thing to ever happen to me, and to allow me to have the time to fall in love with myself sober. I will forever be grateful for that detention centre, for all of those narcotics agents, for all of those guards, for the embassy, for everyone in that period of my life. It's taught me discipline, routine. It's taught me that actually I like to feel things. I don't want to dissociate anymore, even if those feelings are sad or, you know, depressed or stuff. It's human to feel, and it's a gift to feel.